again, as always, because he made this possible and he arranged this for all of you. Today's session is specifically designed for all of you. So this is something very unique that we're doing today. And my only job today really is to bring out what's already inside of you. We're going to do some interview prep. And I hope you all can take home a lot of helpful little tips and tricks that I have for you. Feel free to ask questions at any point when you feel like there's something more I want to know. The only thing that I can add to my introduction is that I'm also now a coach and a judge. So I also know the judge's perspective as an international judge and coach. And yeah, I wanted to give you a little outlook on what could come your way if you win an international title. I've been lucky enough to be invited to the Olympic Games. As you know, those took place in 24. So as a Mrs. World, I was able to go to the Olympic Games and see my sport as a former elite equestrian. That was insane for me. I was able to be on live coverage, TV and radio on 3 different continents as an international title holder. And there are so many more things to come for you and to look forward to. So just bear with me. And what it also led to is my advocacy now. I'm a Pink Ribbon Germany ambassador. Pink Ribbon is there for breast cancer awareness and also prevention. And what we did is we created the Kids and Horses Day, which is now a charity that families affected by cancer, any kind of cancer, can come to and have a day with animals and animal-assisted therapy. And another thing that happened, and I just want you to be ready for that, I got awarded a Global Beauty Award after winning this title. And it led to a scholarship of $5,000. And I was able to put that into a study that we're now doing for Pink Ribbon Germany. So there's a lot more to come and a lot more work after winning the title. So I'm really excited for that. Somebody can't hear it. Can everybody else hear besides Marlene? Can you hear me? Yeah, perfect. Okay. I don't know what's the matter, Marlene. Okay. Like I said, I'm a coach, but I've also been in your shoes. I've been at the exact same point a couple of years ago. I had no coach, no team, no sponsor. And then I met Nestor de la Cruz from the Queen's Camp. And then followed 9 months of meticulous preparation. And the skill to learn today, if there's a key skill for all of you to take away from this, is to kind of translate what you already know and who you already are into pageant language. That's all we want to do, because that's what's going to make a very impressive and successful interview. Okay. I know we have different queens, different pageants. And one of my favorite quotes is, self-knowledge is not a luxury. It's actually the foundation of everything that we call potential. And in order to know what kind of potential you hold, you must know yourself, right? You should know yourself pretty well. And you should also know your pageant. And that leads me to our next slide, which is research is not optional. The key message here is every pageant has kind of a different DNA. And what wins Miss International, you know this already, will not automatically win Miss Supranational. So research your competition. It's a huge advantage. Tweak it a little bit and they will think, wow, she is tailor-made to be our queen. I think the queen who walks in knowing her organization's culture, the values, and the recent winners has a decisive edge over everyone who has not done the work. I have a question for you guys. Maybe just raise your hands. Have you watched the last 2 finals of your competition? Who has done that already? Oh, wow, you came prepared. Okay, I love that. If not, not a problem. There's still time for most of you to do that. And that will be a very important thing. Also, do you know the winning answers of the last winners? Have you watched that? Do you know those answers? Have you watched them word by word? Who has done that so far? That is something that I would highly recommend. Go back, watch the final answers on stage, the final debate, whatever it is. You don't need to learn it by heart, but I want you to be able to recall, okay, she won doing this and that. That's really important. I started preparation 9 months before. I don't know how much time you have, but it really paid off. It is something that is tremendously valuable. I'm going to show you a little thing that I did for you. This is, well, all the information that I find about, briefly, just about your competitions. And the point is, you can't compete in one pageant the same way as the next one. So I'm going to give you some examples here. Faria, where's our Miss Globe Bangladesh? There she is, wonderful. So you have your cultural heritage, as far as I know, that's really vibrant. It's proud. It's deeply feminine. It's an asset. Okay. So really use that for your pageant. That's one thing that I can tell you. I put some Julia's tips together just for your own pageant. It's just one thing to read for you, but I think that would be helpful for all of you. Learn a couple of words in the language of the country that you go to. Just saying hello and thank you. That would be amazing. And like Faria, for everyone else, it's the same thing. Wear your country with pride, the culture and everything that you represent, whether it's Germany or another country, it doesn't matter, but really be proud of where you come from and know your roots. That is something that most of the pageants really ask for. And yes, also watch the last couple of winners. That is something that I would definitely do for you. What we're going to create today is something that I call the safety net. And what it means is we're going to look into your why and your core message, because that's basically your anchor everywhere that you go. Whatever question comes your way, whether it's on stage question, in interviews, even questions that you cannot answer because you don't know the answer, you can always return to your safety net and to your why. And you have to discover your purpose for this and define your core mission very precisely. And make no mistake, this is the most crucial point, okay? We really have to work on this for authenticity. It takes hard work, it takes honesty with yourself and a lot of self-reflection. I know that some of you have already done work here, which is great. We're going to use that today. That's amazing. But your core message is not a script. It's really the truth underneath every answer that you will ever give on stage in interview. And it's the thing that makes you impossible to forget. So let's work on that today. Who of you already knows their core message precisely and perfectly? Who's already done with all of this? Is there someone, or should we work on that a little bit? Yeah, let's try. So we have 3 things that I brought for you that we're going to answer together. And I would love for each question, if there is somebody who would volunteer to answer that. There's no wrong, okay? Just whatever comes to your mind. You can let yourself speak whenever you're ready for that. The first one is, what drives you to compete beyond the stage? What I want to know is about experiences, about an issue, some kind of challenge you had to overcome, a vision that matters deeply to you. Is there somebody who would voluntarily like to answer this? Just 1 or 2 sentences.
Can I answer?
You can just speak. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so for me personally, I struggled a lot with my personal identity as a child. And I think as children, we can often be very kind of in like a tunnel vision and struggle with this with a lack of information and also lack of education. So having these struggles as a child, now being a grown adult and having the presence and platform to talk in front of others, I would like to now have less children go through the same experience, and hopefully they can have a more prosperous future with more resources.
Thank you. That's very beautiful. Let's move on, and then we put it all together.
Okay.
If you had a microphone today and 1 minute to speak to the world, what would you say? This is where you bring your why to life. Whoever feels like they could say something, it doesn't need to be a minute, just something where you say, this is what I would say. Anyone, just feel free. Just go ahead. There's no wrong here. Who dares to? Go ahead.
Okay, so I think we should share more time with our elder community, our grannies and grandpas, because I work a lot with old people, and it's very sad for me to see that they're not getting any visits in the nursery home. So I visit my grandma every Wednesday. I take her to a coffee break, and all the ladies in the same group with her in the nursery home, they have a lot of children, all of them, but I never met one of them. And it always fills my heart with love and joy when I just sit there for 10 or 15 minutes and listen to the stories from these old ladies. Because sometimes there are very good advice from them because they lived their life and they made a lot of mistakes, but they also know all the answers of the mistakes already. So I think we should share a little bit more time with these people. Even it's not my own granny, but it's always nice to see them smile when you sit there and just listen to the stories, what they have to say.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yes. And I remember you because I've heard that from you before when I was at the Queens of Germany. Yes, I remember that. Beautiful. Let's add the third one. The woman I'm becoming through this journey that's very personal. It's just a long-term vision of yourself, basically, where you say, well, this is what I learned so far from my pageant journey. I know for some of you, it's very new. For some of them, they have done it before. What is something that you learned from this? Whoever feels like they want to share something, you're welcome to do it.
I can say something if nobody else wants.
Yes, please.
I think the woman that I'm becoming through the journey of pageantry, the journey of joining Miss Supranational, but of course, I think the woman that we're all becoming, no matter what pageant we join or which country we represent, we are all women of growth. We go through the process of preparing and being surrounded by so many women from different countries in an entirely different environment. And in my opinion, that does something to us. It helps us in a way that I think nothing really else can. Getting to be surrounded by so many different people that are so different from you, that you get to work with and become friends with, is something that's undefinable. And it's an experience that I think also we take back home with us into our daily lives, and it shapes us in an inexplicable way into our future. And it helps us, no matter at what age we're at, it helps us grow up.
Yes. That's beautiful. Thank you very much for that. What you just did, all three of you, that is a part of the puzzle piece of your why you're doing this and your core mission. Okay. So anyone pursuing a pageant title or stepping, let's say, into a leadership role, they must ask themselves, what can I contribute to become the best version of myself, if that makes sense? And in that version, serve others. Because what you're really doing when you're winning is you serve the crown. Let's be honest, right? For the next 365 something days around that, you're serving that title and that crown. So it's not about changing yourself so much. It's really more about finding that best version of yourself. And with that version, you help others and you serve that crown. And all that you've said just now, that's contributing to that. So we're moving on, because now I'm going to give you a little bit of a framework how to find and how to define your own core message in 3 steps. And this is something that you can also use on stage if you like to. Okay, let's go through them. So we start with an emotional hook. Then we go over and present some evidence, some facts, and then there's a final message. This structure works for interviews, for sponsors. I've used it for social media and for every room basically that you walk into. And the strongest contestants, just remember that, are those who can explain not just what they do, but why they care about this, how we do this, and how we get the people to really listen to us from the first moment. Is you open with a story, with an image, with something that makes the jury feel something immediately, whatever feels good to you. Then you present some facts, some evidence. It could be experiences, achievements you have. It could be some data from science, anything that comes to your mind and that works with this. And then you close with the idea that you want the jury to carry with them, to remember about you once you leave the room. It could be a call to action. It could be something you want to change, kind of like the headline of your social project or your charity work. And if you keep this structure in your mind and you have your core message, that's a system that's never going to fail you. Even if you can't answer what they really ask for, if you have this and it's written out, you're going to be fine. You're not going to have any problems. Is there anyone willing to speak out their why, because they have already prepared it, they're already done, they know what they want to say. Just 1 or 2 sentences why you're doing this. Is there anyone who would like to, like, I'm ready, I would like to say this out loud right now? Yeah, I love that. Go ahead.
So are we the why I choose my social project, or?
It's basic. Yes, you can say that. That's totally fine. Why you choose that. If your social project is why you're competing, then yes, absolutely 100%. But what I really want to know is why you're competing. Let's think about, I'm your judge. I'm like, why is she competing? And if it's your social project, yes, please go ahead. Tell me everything about it.
Okay, tough. So one part of why I'm competing is also because of my social project. I'm right now volunteering at a cancer clinic here in Ulm. And we are going to the child section there and doing cocktails for them to give them something back, a little bit of joy in that moment. And I want to spread that worldwide. So
Beautiful.
why I started this is because my grandfather had cancer, and I know exactly how the people are feeling and how the families are feeling. And I always love to see the smiles on the parents' faces when they see us come to the clinic, and the children, of course, and it's giving so much back.
That is so beautiful. Thank you. Let me highlight a couple of things you just did. First, you made it very personal, right? You became vulnerable. You told me about your grandfather. Very beautiful. Something I'll always remember about you. Okay. I won't forget that because it's very personal. And also, you told me what you've already done. I love that as a judge. It's something I'm going to write down immediately because it's not something you hope for or you might do in the future. You've done this. And that is something that I have to look at as a judge because I want to see, is she capable of doing that here? Is she capable of achieving something with the crown? You're showing me you've already achieved something. You've already put in the work. So if you have something like that, it doesn't need to be the same, right? But something like that, always put it in your interview answers. They need to know what you've already done. They need to know the work you already put in. Beautiful. I love that. Okay. We are moving on to, for me, the most fun part. So what I did today is I said I tailor-made it for all of you. I prepared questions for each and every one of you. Okay. It's kind of a random order. I didn't know who was going to be here first or who wants to go last. So it's a random order. And what we want to do is I'm going to give you a couple of different questions each that are tailor-made for your pageant, because I researched you and your pageant a little bit before. And you're just going to practice. You're just going to say whatever comes to mind, be open, be as beautiful as you are today, and just speak your heart and speak your mind. And whatever you have prepared already is welcome. But I can tell you the most spontaneous questions are usually the best. So just feel free to answer. We're not criticizing. You're going to get some feedback afterwards. And we're going to move on to the next queen. Are you guys ready? Can we do that? Can you give me a thumbs up if you're on board with this? Is this fine for everyone? Yeah? Is there anyone who says, no, absolutely not? No, okay. Perfect. Okay. I don't know who's going to be first because this is a random order. We're just going to move into the questions. That's perfect. Miss Supranational Germany. Andromeda, are you ready?
Yes.
Yes, I love that. Okay. We're going to do 3 questions, maybe 4. I don't know. It's going to be a matter of time. We're going to see how far we can get. Okay. We have 20 minutes so far, so we're going to see. Okay. So I took a look at your Instagram before. Beautiful Miss Supranational Germany. And I want to know, what does this say about you? What do you want to say with your Instagram? And is that the queen you are right now? Is that the queen you want to become? Tell me a little bit what your Instagram stands for.
Oh, wow. That's a good question. I like it. Thank you. I would say my Instagram right now does not represent the woman I want to become, but rather the woman that I am right now. I think an Instagram profile and a post is always something that is quite personal, even if it's the best picture you chose from your diary show that you chose to post. it's always something that's very personal to you currently. The picture where you think you look best there right now, or what you want to present from yourself currently. And I think that's a beautiful part of social media and of Instagram profiles, because they grow with you and they change with you. And in different phases of your life, you choose to show different things. You choose to present them differently, and you choose to also present yourself differently. I would say with my Instagram profile as it is right now, of course, I'm trying to represent myself and my country. I'm trying to keep it grounded to who I am personally, so that when I join Miss Supranational, I can truly be my personal self and join while not being biased and not be too focused on their brand, but also on my own, and on who I am.
Beautiful. I love that. Are you a native speaker?
English?
You're a native English speaker?
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. No.
Why not?
I went to international schools as a child. I had 70% of my courses in English in primary school, which helped.
That's very impressive. That's very impressive. Okay, next question. Let's say you are in the super chat, right? Because I know that's part of your competition. The camera is on. There's not really a script as far as I know. No preparation. Introduce yourself. Go.
All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, dear super family. My name is Andromeda. It is very nice to meet all of you. I'm very excited to see you personally once we're at the Miss Supranational experience in July. A very small fun fact about myself, which I'm very excited about, is that I will be turning 22 while being at Miss Supra. So I'm very excited to have my birthday in a different country, of course, but especially with all of the lovely girls and women that I'm going to meet over there. So I'm very excited for that.
Beautiful. Thank you. I have another one for you.
Mm-hmm.
Eduarda Brown won, and she said, when you truly understand yourself, other people's words become less significant. That's what she said. Do you understand yourself? How are you feeling about that right now?
I think you can never truly know yourself. There's always more parts that you can discover, which is a beautiful part of life as well, of course. You, as a human and as a woman, I think you should always strive for change and growth. And I would never want to know my full self. I would always want to continue to discover new parts and say, oh, I did not know that. And as of right now, I don't think that I fully know myself. I have learned a lot throughout the past few years, also thanks to pageantry. So I do think that I have a pretty good knowledge of who I am, and also who I want to be. But I think there's many, many more parts that I'm going to discover in the upcoming years and even decades, which I'm very excited for.
Yes. One final question, then you're done. You win in Poland, right? You win. And before going home, what is your game plan for the next 48 hours? You got the crown, the next 48 hours. What's your game plan?
I imagine that there's a very silent moment that you get to have in the night after you win, because all of the stress and the adrenaline falls off. And I think no matter if you win or you lose, you drive home in the bus after standing on stage for several hours and you're incredibly tired. And in that moment, the only thing you look forward to, no matter if you have the crown on your head or not, is those few hours of sleep that you get, which will be so rewarding. And I think that's the very first thing that every woman will look forward to after the competition. But if I have that crown on my head and if I've won that title, then when I wake up in the next morning, I would look forward to the incredible experiences you get to have as Miss Supranational, and the incredible chances that they give you by having and wearing their title for a year. I think it comes with a voice that you get to have, that you've worked very hard for, which none of the other women got to have, that you were in the competition with. And I would want to do that justice, because I know that there's so many incredible women that are competing with me that have incredible social projects and incredible dreams that they're working for. And I would want to make the most of the title, to also do them the honor of saying I earned that title and I deserve to have it, and that it was worth giving it to me.
Yes. Thank you. Very well done. Guys, this was amazing. This was a very high bar for the first one to go, just so you know, okay? Very good English. Let me give you some points that I just wrote down here. You have the ability, and this is magic. You have the ability to take a step back and to give me a perspective. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you're able to not be too much in the moment. You're not nervous to me at all. I don't know if you are, but to me, you're not nervous. You're just giving me beautiful stories. You're giving me a perspective, how you see this, but you're also keeping it open for someone else. Thank you very much for this. This was a very strong start, so I hope no one's intimidated. This was really, really good. I loved how confident you are. There's a lot of true and authentic confidence. Love it. Great for Super Chat, for everything that's coming. You are social media aware. Oh my goodness. I love that answer. That was really great, because saying, you know, what you see right now is who I am right now. It doesn't mean that I love this in 3 years to come. Mm-hmm. And that's the magic of it, to say, I'm just a person. I don't know myself 100% yet, and that's okay. But I'm working with what I have, and I try to be a good person. And I got that feeling from you. Also, what you were able to give me, and I don't know if the others felt that too, she was able to give me the feeling that if I trust her with the crown for that year, she's going to do fine. Did anyone else feel that? Can you show me your hands? Do you feel like confident in her that she can wear the crown? See, wonderful. That's what I want from you. I don't need super complicated answers. If you don't know something, just tell me. That's fine. I don't know everything, right? I'm sitting here, I want a crown, but I don't know everything. So if you don't know something, if you don't understand my question, that is human. Totally fine. Just tell me. I loved this. What I would do if I were you, Andromeda, one thing that I would give you, try to keep it spontaneous, because you have so much content and you have so much, you're so calm, right? You're so collected. You don't want to get generic, okay? You don't want to give me something that the other three before you did as well. You didn't today. That was beautiful. And if one more thing, maybe as homework, try to time yourself. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much time you have in certain parts of the competition, because I think it might be that you have to shorten your answers a tiny bit. Okay?
All right.
I loved it. Very good. Very good start. Good job. Okay, next one. Let's see. I have no idea who's the next one. We're going to see our beautiful Julia, our Miss World Germany. Julia, are you ready?
Yes, please.
Are you with me? Perfect. I heard from Nestor, you're half Japanese. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Perfect. And you were also a first runner-up for Miss World Japan. Oh my God, she has experience. That's wonderful.
It's been a
First
while.
of all, I looked at your social media. It's it is very strong social media you have there. I love the cultural background that's there for you with the two different nations. You're representing Germany now, right?
Yes.
I have that correctly. You're going for Germany. Okay. Perfect. Okay, I have a couple of questions for you. The first one is, I want to learn about your purpose, which might be connected to your platform or not, but I want to know the deeper reason why you want to stand on that stage of Miss World. What is it?
Okay, so for me, when I ran for Miss World Japan back in 2022, I was much more insecure. I didn't have the amount of confidence I have right now. And it's always been because I've never felt really at home in one single country. I think it comes naturally for many happies, but then also having very, very different countries for my background, it was such a core part which kind of negatively affected my childhood, as I mentioned earlier. And now with the ability to have more impact and building my confidence through pageantry, I really want to kind of resonate the same effect to more girls, younger girls, even older girls who haven't found themselves yet, because I just genuinely don't want people to go through the same things I've went through as a younger individual. And I think people can now have more resources, especially with the development of AI. The resources are out there, but I feel like this aspect of realization, it's something which is pushed out through Beauty with a Purpose project, pageantry in general. And I really hope that I can do this as big as this is kind of like my core purpose in life, even outside of pageantry. This is what I do on social media every day, what I have done my entire life. I've volunteered not only in this realm, but also in homeless shelters, for gender equality movements. It's always a idea of minority finding their home. So I've always worked towards this, and I really hope I can continue pursuing this through Miss World as well.
Wonderful. And this is very beautiful because I think it exactly aligns with Beauty with Purpose, right? That's exactly what they're looking for. Okay. I know there is going to be a head-to-head challenge. See if I get this right. One judge, one global issue, and you're going face-to-face, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, my question is just from the outside. We're looking at that right now. Which topic would you want or hope for in that room, and which one would test you the most from the past examples that you have seen?
Personally, I think something to do with multiculturalness would naturally fit most to my project and also my upbringing. Yes. So I would be able to provide the most insight there. As for something in the medical realm, I think I would probably struggle the most in, as I just don't have much experience volunteering or studying in this area. So I would probably have to say something quite generic here. I wouldn't be able to provide much of my own input or knowledge in this area.
Thank you very much. Beautiful answer. Last year's winner said, lead by example. Our actions always speak louder than words. Can you give me a moment from your life where you have already proven that, where your actions speak louder than words?
I think this is definitely reflected in the activities I've done so far. I've always had this idea of I want to bring back to society, and I want to help people who are still struggling to maybe find their home or find their self-confidence. And this is it's very easy to say this. I think a lot of people would agree with me. However, being able to actually do this is very different. So I've started volunteering at a homeless shelter when I was in middle school. And this kind of opened my door into helping those minorities who may not be as privileged and who may not have kind of the self-awareness that they strive to be more happy in their bodies and who they are. And this has then stemmed into my current activities, finding a new organization within my university that I currently attend called the Unity Club. And we promote gender equality and help minorities, not only in terms of gender, but people who may be new to Frankfurt, where I'm currently studying, or Germany, and just helping them find who they are and finding their homes. And it really gives me a lot of joy. That I can do this. And I think this joy, it's only felt when you actually make action. If I were just to say people need to find their homes, people need to find who they are, it wouldn't really give me this joy. And I feel like I'm really happy with what I've been doing so far, not only because I've been able to make the effect, but because it provides me so much fulfillment. And I think that it's really something that I can continue doing for the rest of my life.
I want to stop there for a moment. Did you see what happened when she answered in the second half? Did someone notice? The moment that you started to mention your project, the Unity Club, and you started to talk about that, your face lit up. Wow, that was an aura. I was like, wow, where did that come from? Now she's speaking from the heart. This is what she's doing right now. This is what she burns for, okay? This was such a beautiful moment, because this is what happens the moment you feel probably a little more safe in your answer, and the moment you really get to tell them facts, what you're actually doing. You have a name for it. You gave me the name. You gave me what you're doing there. You're doing it right now. And you connected it to your core message, right? To what you're really doing. This was so beautiful. Julia, thank you so much for this, because this is the first, I'm going to be very honest with you guys here. The first part, the first half of the answer, you don't need that. Open with this. Open with the project. Open with what you're doing right now. Talk about your university. Talk about what you're doing there, because this is, when you feel good in the answer, I feel good as a judge. You're making me very comfortable. And I'm like, oh, I like this girl. I'm going to put an exclamation mark next to her name. Okay. This was so nice. I'm going to leave you with that because I think this was a very important moment for you. And I would like you to remember that.
Thank you for
what else have I written down for you? Oh, my pleasure. Oh my God. You have international experience, right?
Yeah, I went to an international school my whole life. If that's
Okay.
what you mean by
So yeah,
it.
you can tell. Yes, I mean any international experience in that field, yeah, because you're very eloquent and you know how to use your words. That's very impressive here. My God, Nestor trained you well. Love it. I know that Sylvia made top, I don't know, 24 or 20 in the head to head. So
Yeah,
there's a lot to
I
work
know,
for.
bars are
But
hard.
I know, and that's what that would actually have been my last question, but I don't really need to ask you that because I know you're going to rise to it. Whatever the outcome is in numbers, that doesn't matter, because if you feel like this, if you feel the way you just felt in the second half of the answer, you're going to do great, trust me, because you're going to make the judges feel at ease, and everybody in the audience is just going to be like, oh, I can relax, she's going to do great, right? So for everyone else, yeah, you're so welcome. Find something that makes you feel you burn for this. This is what you really want to say. It's easy for you because you know the project inside out. That's what I want to hear about. I don't want to hear complicated stuff. I don't want to make you feel uneasy because then I'm becoming nervous as a judge. Okay? You're done. Next one.
Thank you so much.
Let's see. You're welcome. Oh, Faria, our Miss Globe Bangladesh.
Hi.
Are you with me?
Sure.
Yes, beautiful. I heard you're the newbie in the group. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Yes. Okay, we're going to go very easy on you, okay? I'm going to be very, very sweet with you. Okay. If I speak too fast, if my questions are too fast, or there's a word you don't understand, feel free at any time to say, I didn't get that. Say it again. Okay?
Nothing?
Okay, so you were going to the Miss Globe. Have you ever competed before, or is this the first time?
My first time.
Wow. Okay, I was a first timer, just so you know. Mrs. World was my very first pageant. Never done anything like that before, so you were in the best hands. Okay. Okay, we're going to start with something that is very common in pageants. It's something that a lot of judges do in the beginning. I'm going to ask you, I'm going to say you have 90 seconds, about 90 seconds. We're not going to be too critical with that today. I just want you to introduce yourself. Tell me who you are, Faria.
Okay, I am someone who has grew up between 3 different cultures and learned so many things from really different people. Can I say something?
Of course.
My main problem is I speak 5 languages, polyglot, but I forget speak in every language, like right now. So I forgot English, I forgot Turkish. My brain is brain. So I want to say so many things that I can't telling them, like those are stopping my brain. They're not coming.
Yes. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to turn it into a strength for your interview right now. Okay. What you're going to do in the future is you're going to open with, I'm so excited to meet you all. And the first thing I want to say today is I'm actually capable of speaking 5 languages. But every now and then, they try to wrestle which one is on the forefront and which one I'm going to speak right now. So bear with me because I'm going to get an answer for you. But 5 languages is a lot. Oh my God, as a judge, I'm going to be like, she speaks 5 languages. That's amazing. And I'm going to be so forgiving. Okay. I'm going to give you a moment to think about that. It's such a strength. That's amazing. Okay. Speak slowly. Take a deep breath. You have all the time in the world. The more calm you are, the more calm I'm going to be as a judge. Okay. So there's no pressure. And there's no pressure here. You can stop at any point and be like, I want to say it in German. Fine. I can't speak 5 languages, but German, English, and French would be fine. Okay. Okay. I still want to know more about you. So I heard the 5 languages, loved it, put it down as a plus right away. Okay. Tell me a little bit more. Why are you going to this pageant?
Actually, I always wanted to compete in a pageant, but I always said I'm not enough right now. Next year, try next year, and then now I'm 25 and I struggle with so many things. I realized being a young woman is really difficult. I learned the empathy. I mean, saying empathy, it's totally different. So that's why today I.
Yes, I love that. And that is something you can actually draw on. Saying something and actually putting it into action are two very different things. And pageantry taught me to do this.
Okay.
Love the answer. Oh, or I'm on my way to learning how to do that, to find ways to put words into action. Okay. To put the crown into action. This is what I'm planning on doing once I win the crown here. It's a beautiful answer. All I did right now was reword it. Okay. But those are your words. I just took them and told myself it's going to be a perfect answer. And then you're going to have a beautiful answer. Okay. This is just practice for you, nothing else. It's just practice, okay? It's a different language, kind of, when you go to a pageant. All of those who have competed already know that. It's kind of learning a new language. And you already know 5. Okay, I have another one for you. What is the most Bangladeshi thing about you? And how do you make that an asset on a stage?
Actually, I love spicy food. I mean, I think it's in my genes because in our country, when you travel to Bangladesh, you will love people, you will love nature, but you will love most the food. So I am always trying to make Bangladeshi food in Turkey, in Georgia, and trying to. I stopped again. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You know what? Just wrap it up. Just look at me very confidently and say, and that is what is the most Bangladeshi thing about me, and you're done. You know what? You're actually giving me great answers. All it takes is a little more confidence for you to say, okay, my brain is not going anywhere. I would smile and I'll wrap it up. Okay. The shorter the answer, usually the better the outcome.
Okay.
There's research on this. So if you have an onstage question, if you feel at any point I should wrap it up. Don't put another sentence in because you're just going to destroy the message. You gave me a beautiful answer. If I want to know more, I'm going to go deeper. Okay? Even on stage, even if you have 30 seconds, this is for everyone. If you have 30 seconds, 60 seconds to answer a final question on stage, if you put your heart into it, you know the values, you did your research for this pageant, what queen are they looking for? And you gave them a beautiful answer. Wrap it up. Take a deep breath. Give them a dazzling smile and you're done. Even if you have 10 or 15 seconds left. I'd rather have that as a judge than someone who feels like, oh, I need to say something. There's 10 seconds left on the monitor. And then you ramble and you say something wrong. Oh, she was so strong, but now she kind of destroyed that magic. This is something that I learned. And I think I was finished early in my answer. I definitely didn't have the longest answer. Definitely not. I just spoke from the heart and about the pageant values. Okay. I loved it. Thank you so much. Something that I really like about you is you're very authentic. I know you feel like you're struggling, but that's very authentic. And the answers you give are not generic. I love that. There's a fresh energy about you. You're not involved in any pageant politics because you're new to it. That's an advantage. Trust me. I've experienced it firsthand. I came there. I was completely naive in the pageant land. And that is everyone else who has competed already. They know what I'm talking about. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. If you're not a part of it, that's actually a plus because it won't bother you. Okay. Keep it that way and just practice every day, couple of questions, most common pageant questions, put it in Google. It's going to give you great questions, especially for your pageant. And then just practice. Speak with yourself. Okay. Thank you, Faria. Moving on to our beautiful, who's going to be the next? Alexandra. Lexi, right? Yes. I looked at your Instagram and I wasn't sure it's yours, but Lexi is yours, right?
Yes.
That's you. Because I saw the picture.
Me.
Yes. Okay, wonderful. You don't have international experience yet, do you? Did you compete internationally before?
Yes, 4 times.
What did you do? 4 times.
4 times. Yes, but they were all little, small pageants. So yeah, I got some experience there, but in these smaller competitions, I always had to prepare myself. So I had no coach, I had no training. So I was just there and tried to give my best. So I'm very excited for this because this will be my biggest competition. And
yes. So this is the first international one,
no.
or have you competed internationally?
Yes, I had international ones. I was in Turkey, Albania, Kosovo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, great. Well, let's see. Let's see. Okay. I read that Miss Global accepts single mothers and women up to 35. You are competing alongside those women with a very different life path. It's very diverse there. What do you bring that is uniquely just yours?
Well, I always say when I meet all my patients, I'm the granny because I'm 33 years old now. So I'm close to the end now for the Miss titles. And I can say I have experience in my life because I already know who I am. I'm doing my job every day. I'm a workaholic and I love my job and I love the patients because every time I go, there are so many girls and I can learn from them and they can learn from me. And this is the greatest goal I get from the patients.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Next one. The 25 winner was a 33-year-old mother of two in her first international pageant. What does that tell you about what Miss Globe is actually looking for, and how do you keep up with that?
So I think most of the time I think I'm too old now for pageant, but she's 33, the same age like me. I'm not a mother, I'm not married. But it tells me that they're looking for someone who has experience in their life and can teach others and bring some more, like experience you have and not just starting your life. So I'm in my life and she's also in her life. So she can give a little bit more advice maybe than a younger lady. So this is, I hope, because most of the time I feel too old, but for this patient, I think I'm the right one.
Okay. Very different question now. If you could choose one image from your life, like a picture, not a word, a picture, that is your answer to who are you, what picture would that be? Describe it for us.
Well, I would take the picture we took at my 30th birthday. Because in this picture, there was my family. So the one who are the closest to me. So my mom, my brother, and my granny, because my grandpa already passed away. And at this time, we also celebrate my master. I mean, that was a few years after I made my master of tailor. But in this picture, we also celebrate my 30th birthday and my master. And yeah, everybody was smiling and enjoying the family and all the success I got in my life. Because sometimes when you turn 30, maybe you get a little bit struggling to getting old, or you're not at the point you got everything you wanted at this age. And when I turned 30, I knew it. Yes, I got the most of the things I wanted to be there, but there are still things I want to do. And I think I'm young enough to get all the goals I was dreaming of.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me give you some feedbacks. Okay. Here's the thing. You are one of these beautiful contestants who don't actually know what you have to offer. You have no idea what you have to offer. Here's the thing. What you told me was family is a huge value. You're a goal-getter by age 30, and this is the picture that comes to your mind when I ask about a picture. You had those things achieved, right? You talked about your masters, you talked about your family around you. What matters most. It's so beautiful to hear that family is actually at the forefront of what matters to you. Talk about that. That is beautiful. You are someone who achieves goals, and your next goal is the Miss Globe, right? Miss
Yes.
Global, sorry.
Yes.
Miss Global. So all I would tell you as feedback is try to turn it a little more into a positive outlook. Because you're telling me, I don't know if any one of you noticed, of the others listening, the thing she said the most is, most of the time I think I'm too old.
Yes.
Did you notice that, guys? She said it about 3 times. You're not
Yeah.
old. I'm 40.
Yes, but
Okay, and
everyone
one when
is
I was
telling
38,
me
you're
too old.
You're not. You're not. Don't even listen. Don't let that get to your head, because it's kind of in its own topic within your answer. And you are not looking your age, you're
No.
looking younger.
Yes.
And I makeup and on stage, you're going to look even better. And even if you look 33, that would be amazing, right? So don't take that as something negative. I loved that you actually told me the positive part, because you have life experience. You know yourself. You reached goals already. You know how to do that. You know what values are important to you. Oh, there was so much. You have no idea. You have no idea what's in there. So do me a favor and sit down. And when you answer those questions, write down what you answered. You can make, bullet points. It doesn't need to be the whole sentence. And then I want you to circle all the things that you can turn into something positive. And age could be positive because it's life experience. Age could be positive because it enables you to say, I have already reached goals. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. I want you guys, when you answer and you put down some bullet points of what you think about, you're going through it in your head, turn it into something positive. Because as a judge, what do I want? I want to feel calm. I want to trust you. I want to know she's someone I can send to this for a year with this crown, and she's going to be happy. And I want to hear positive things. I know what you're struggling with, because my topic is mental health. So if I sit down and I talk about trauma, what do you think the judges are going to feel?
Not good.
Probably pretty right. They're probably going to walk out and be like, oh, she had a strong story, but it was so negative. It was so hard. We can't send her out into the world with that. You have a topic that is a little bit on the verge of that with the elder people that you're working with, but turn it into something positive, because the work you're doing is great. Okay. And the cause you have, the why, is very strong, but turn it into your advantage and tell them, I can work with them and I know what they need because I have some life experience. And this is for all of you. If you're young, if you're a first timer, turn it into something that actually, where the judges are like, that makes so much sense that she's doing this and not something else. That's all I want. I want it to make sense. I want to trust you. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. You did great. Is there anyone who's not prepared here? This is pretty amazing. Let's see who's next. Oh, she's prepared. I've heard her speak before today. Marlene, are you with me?
Yes, of course.
And you can hear me now,
Yes,
right?
I can hear you now.
Yes. Okay, you were Miss Oral Top 10 last year.
Yes.
I remember that. I saw you competing on stage, and I was very impressed. So
thank you.
Well, all the compliments in the world for that. Let's do some interview work today. Okay, this is different. This is Miss International. You know your pageant, I guess, and you know what you're doing. I have a couple of questions. Let's see what you do with them. Okay. Okay. You are about to represent your country, Germany, in Tokyo. What do you know about Japan that most candidates probably won't?
Starting out strong.
Oh, yes.
Oh, God. Okay. That's actually a hard question, and I need to research on that topic a little bit more because I'm not fully prepared on that topic. So I'm trying to take some Japanese lessons, trying to take the culture a little bit more in, and to research the whole culture, to know the etiquettes and everything. So I'm not quite there yet, but I will get there eventually.
Love this answer. Let me stop there right really short, because this is what can happen to anyone. You get a question and you're like, I have no idea. I have no idea what to answer to this. She did 2 things, very smart things. First, she told me, I honestly need to work on this. Okay, I'm not ready for this question. If she had stopped there, I would have been like, oh man, this was a chance. But she didn't. She told me, I need to research this. I need to find out about the culture. I loved this answer. Even though you didn't answer my question, it would have been a plus in my book, okay? Because what do we need from a queen? If you get a question from the media in your year and you can't answer it because it's a mean question or because it's a question you simply don't know the answer to, I want you to be able to navigate that and to be very safe with it. She did that, okay? Thank you for that example. Very nice. Okay, next one. Miss International observes candidates from day one, not just on stage. What do you want them to remember about you, and how do you achieve that?
I love the whole concept about the quarantine time there, because I think that's the true essence of Miss International, to be able to showcase my personality, my kindness actually, and how easy it is to make friendships and to appreciate the cultural exchange in here. So I'm so excited about that.
Very nice answer. Thank you. Okay, next one. Your advocacy is your proof of purpose. What have you actually done? Not planned, not hoped for. What have you actually done so far?
So my advocacy came to life because of my granddad, who died because of cancer, and I wanted to give something back. So I started to research the organizations here in Germany. So I wanted to work with them throughout this purpose. So I researched Fruchtalarm. That's the company I'm working with, and they have multiple locations in Germany, and they're going like once a week there to make the Fruchtalarm. That's the German word for that. That's basically just doing cocktails for the kids and with the kids with cancer in hospice or in the clinics. And I'm going there like once a month or two, just to be present and to give back, because the most amazing thing about my project is actually seeing their smiles and how happy they are that you're there.
I love that. Did you see that again in the ending when she said the thing I love the most is the smiles? Those are that's gold for me as a judge. Okay, one thing about this answer. First of all, I love that you mentioned the concept of the pageant, that you love the concept. You told me about the concept, so I had proof, okay, that you actually really understood it. Loved that. I love what you did here because it was very personal with your granddad. The only thing I would say, try, because you started out so freaking strong. It was really good. You had great vocabulary. You said all the right things. And then it kind of got lost a little bit and you diluted it almost a little bit because it went on a little too long. Be confident to shorten your answers. They will ask again in interview if they want to know more. This was such a good answer and I really loved it. And especially the last part where you said about the smiles. If you can bring emotion to your answers, do it. Do it. If it's a tear in your eye, that's totally fine. If it's a laugh you're going to have with the judge because you're talking about a mishap or something that was difficult for you, that is totally fine. We're all going to love it because we're going to remember you for it. Okay? I love that. Do you want one more?
If you have something more for me, of course.
Of course. Okay. Marlene, you are in the top 5, okay? The question comes. We're just observing the moment, okay? I'm not going to give you the top 5 question. We're just observing the moment. Let's say you have 10 seconds to prepare before you're given the microphone and you have to answer. I want to know what happens inside your mind in those 10 seconds before you give the answer. What are you doing?
I think I will probably scream in my head, like, ah, can't believe that's happening. And then I will fully focus on that question if I have it before that. So I can prepare my mind, calm down, try to get my thoughts sorted out, and then just go with it. Just go with the flow.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's it for you. Thank you so much for that. What we're going to do is, in the end, if we have a little more time, I don't know how much time you have because we're already past 7. We're definitely going to do our beautiful Sedina now. But if you have a little more time with me, we're going to see. I'm going to give you a couple of tools that you can actually do in those 10 seconds, okay, to prepare yourself, to calm your mind. Okay. Thank you very much for this. I think there's only one left, right? Our beautiful Miss Cosmo, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Are you with me?
Yes, I am. Hello.
Yes. Hello. It is so nice to meet you all.
Thank you.
Okay. Have you have competed before, right? Miss Grand, I think that's what Nestor told me.
Yes, I was last year. I was representing Germany on the Miss Grand. Yes, international.
Wonderful. I hope it was a great experience for you. We have a little bit of an echo there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I should just go to my room then. Okay.
I don't know if it is some sound, or maybe it's easier for you to listen to me.
Okay.
Tell me whenever you're ready.
I'm so sorry.
No, don't worry about it. This is training. We're not on stage. You're fine.
Okay.
Okay. I'm pretty sure everyone's aware about the Miss Cosmo finals, the debate, right? Because I watched Miss Cosmo last year. I was very impressed with the format. And I think it's pretty challenging to do a debate on the final question or the final moments on stage.
Yes.
And my first question to you is actually about that whenever you're ready.
Okay. Just 1 second. Okay, now I'm
Ready?
so sorry.
Sit down.
Let's go.
Let's say you are in the final debate, okay? You're on stage.
Okay.
What is your strongest argument and what is a potential weakness that your project has?
Oh, that's a tough one. My strongest argument would be to not be afraid to be who you are and to speak your truth out, because that's something what I went through. And my social project is also mental health and domestic abuse. And I was silenced for a very long time. So yeah, that's something that I would like to give out to the world.
What do you think could be a problem with your project, or a weakness, or something another person could debate against?
My fear, well, what my fear would be also speaking, because always when I have this kind of big speeches, there's one more thing about me that I still didn't cleared with myself, and that is like being nervous or having this inside anxiety or a panic attack before speaking. So that's one of my biggest problems that I want to just clear with myself.
Thank you for telling that and for being so open. Actually, I think this could also be a strength for on stage, because let's say it happens, right? Let's say that happens and you get a little bit of a panic feeling, or you're like, oh, her argument was really strong. If you tell the story and if you say, you know what, that's a very strong argument. It is so strong that I'm actually feeling close to a panic attack right now. And I'm going to share with you something that I didn't plan on sharing, but I suffer from anxiety of public speaking, and I'm still standing here today as an advocate against domestic abuse, domestic violence. And then you just find back into your debate argument, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If that ends all of you feel like, oh my God, I have to cry, or I feel anxiety, I feel uncomfortable, name it and turn it into a strength, because you already showed up. You're all so strong. You're all unbelievably amazing, because you are the only ones doing this for Germany, for Bosnia, for Bangladesh, okay? No one else is doing that. It's only you. If it happens, name it, because everyone's seeing it anyway, and say, and I'm still standing here and I'm still answering this question. Because as a judge, if you did that, that will be even more important than your project, to be completely honest, because that shows me what kind of a person you are, okay? Only if it happens. If it doesn't happen, great. But if it happens, there's a game plan. It's not a problem, okay? I have another one for you. Are you ready?
Okay.
Over 70 nations are competing. It's a huge pageant. That's really amazing. What makes your story impossible to ignore? What is so special about your story?
Well, why is it impossible to ignore is because there is so many women out there experiencing domestic violence, and we don't have enough resources on education. We do have a lot of therapists. We do have also free education that has to be paid, but we don't have enough of free resources, and that is something that I'm working on and that I'm willing to give from myself to the others.
Yes, that's very essential. Thank you. I have a final question for you. This is a very free one. If you had the world's attention, let's say you're on the news around the world for 60 seconds, what would you like to say to the girls, to the women, to the boys, to the men, everyone out there? What would you like to say?
I would like to say that everyone has a right for their own safety, and that everyone have the right to speak up their truth, to be there for one another, and to not be afraid to help one another. And also like
That's
to
amazing.
educate themselves, and just like to be aware of some things of what can happen and how can we better ourselves, and how can we also help other people going through tough stuff, or yeah, just or knowing someone that is going through something tough, how can we be able to help them? That is my main resource, and that is something that I would really, really, really want to give out to the world, that we can be there for each other and that it's not hard.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And the last answer that you gave, very strong opening, loved it. In the middle, I felt like there was a moment where you were a little lost, but what I want to tell you is you found your way back, okay? Because the end was you again. And I felt like you were talking with me and you were not searching for something in your head. And that's what matters, the opening and the ending. People tend to forget what's in the middle. I don't know if you've heard about this research, but if you name 3 things, people tend to forget the second one, and everything else stays with them. So the way you open and the way you close, make that strong, okay? If you lose yourself a little bit in the middle part, it doesn't even matter, okay? Thank you, Sadina.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Wow. I'm pretty impressed with all of you, because you're all queens, and I can tell that you want to do this, and some of you are more experienced and some of you are a little less experienced, but I hope what you can take away from this and from watching each other is what really counts when I sit there as a judge is that you're actually happy to be there. I want to see that you're happy, and I want to see that you burn for what you tell me. There's one more thing, Sadina. If you want to, you could contact me after this, because I have a Mrs. Lithuania World, and she's actually an ambassador against domestic abuse and domestic violence. She's also a survivor of that. And she has a beautiful story, a beautiful way of doing charity. And maybe you guys can connect, because if you're a part of what she does, or you two share that, if she even just shares her story with you, I think that would be tremendously helpful for you to tell yours, if you feel like that.
Can I say
just let me know after.
I would actually love that, because I am also working with one humanitarian organization, and we are also not yet, but once I go back to Bosnia next month, we are going to start how do you say, I'm so sorry, we're going to start to found a oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so lost right now.
Don't worry, that's fine.
We're going to make a fund for, so that we can give out to the women, to the children, and so on. And I also make a team, my own team, with psychologists, therapists, mentors, and we are we are making a little tour in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and we are giving free educations for anyone who went through any kind of violence, whether was it emotional or was it like physical abuse, financial abuse? So we put everything in one circle, and that's something that I would like to give out to everyone, because I do have a lot of knowledge. I went to that myself also, but I am not qualified. So I am like in Bosnia, I wouldn't be actually legally, I wouldn't be allowed to talk about it. So that's why I made team out of people. I will make opening. I will talk also about personal things, not to feel, because I'm afraid someone's gonna be triggered and they're gonna do a lot of stuff. But yeah, I'm just like gonna do opening, and then they're gonna do the educational work and everything else. So yeah.
That what you just said, that's a perfect answer to why are you doing this? What are you exactly doing? You just told me, okay? These are the things, and we had that before with someone else here. When you're talking about what you're actually doing already, I think Julia was the first one who did that. When you're telling me what you're actually doing, that is the moment when your faces light up. You didn't stop once. Once you got going, okay, there wasn't a stop anymore. I don't know if everyone else noticed it. She was just speaking. Once she got over the fun word, don't worry about that. That's the magic. Okay, that's where we want to go. If anybody wants to be connected with someone else who does the same thing, different pageant system, no worries there. They will support you. And they are misses, so they're probably a little bit older and they have pageant experience already. You just let me know and we'll find someone to match up with you, okay? Okay, I know we're past the time. Do you have 10 more minutes for me? Just give me your hands if you want some backstage tools, because I have some tools for you prepared. Should we go for that? Do you have another 10 minutes for me? Okay. All right. Whoever needs to drop out, that's totally fine. Okay. So here we go. We have some backstage tools. What I want to share with you are actually personal tools. So I use them and I want to give them to you. And I have 3 of them. We're going to start with the first one, which is what I call the body check. And we can do it right now. So wherever you are, if you're sitting, standing, it doesn't even matter. Let's go through it together. So you put your feet on the ground. If you're standing, of course you're standing, but that's fine, sitting too. About shoulder width apart, grounded and stable. Put them flat on the floor. I know you might be in high heels, that's fine. Just put your feet completely on the floor. Your knees should be soft, right? At any time. Don't lock your knees. People have passed out on pageant stages because they locked their knees. So please don't do that. Your core should be engaged. That means your tummy muscles should have a little bit of tension there, okay? Just solid, be strong in your core. Your chest should be open, expanded, long spine, make yourself tall, okay? And that automatically will lead you to draw your shoulders back and then consciously just release them down, okay? We don't want to look like this, even with the shoulders back. We want to have them back here. Your head is straight, okay? Your chin is slightly lifted, not like this, but just a little bit. So you get that really elongated, long neck, okay? And then I want to see your faces light up with that genuine smile, with that honest smile, because your body feels in tune. You've done the body check from your feet, from your little high heels, up to that head, which the crown is going to find, okay? If you do this right before stage and you train it before passerella training, before doing your interview, your whole posture is going to be open and inviting and beautiful, okay? This is something that I did myself. The second one is something that I still do. I did it before I came on here, and I always do it before any stage that I go on. It's just something that really helps me to kind of calm down. We can do it together. It's a very simple thing. So what you're going to do is you're going to breathe in 2, 3, 4. You're going to hold 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you can't do 8, that's fine. Do 6, do 5, whatever feels convenient for you. And then you repeat that twice, or if you have a little more time, you could do it 3 times. What happens is your pulse will calm down, okay? Your whole nervous system, and this is scientifically proven, it really works, will calm down because you're activating something that's called the parasympathicus, okay? It's a system that's actually meant to relax. And that is what you're actively doing. You're pushing a button to calm yourself down physically. It's pretty amazing, right? And this is, for example, I asked our Miss International Germany, what are you doing, right? In the 10 seconds before you answer that question. This is something that you could say if someone asks you, how do you prepare for this really nervous moments? That's something you can actually do because it doesn't take anything. No one's going to notice. I can stand there in my posture, in my T stance, and I can be like, 2, 3, 4, in, hold, 2, 3, 4, out. Okay. The more you practice this when you're relaxed, the easier your body will go on autopilot when you do it on stage. You can't practice it only when you're hyper nervous, okay? Practice it when you're calm, before you go to bed, before you start your training for interview, before your semester, before you go to school or to work, and you know you have to do something that's a little bit exciting. Practice the breath work. Even when you're in the waiting room at a doctor's office, I do this because it really calms down your pulse and your blood pressure, okay? The next tool is going to be this one, and this is the final one. I loved this actually for Vegas. So what I did before was I had 2 pre-stage thoughts, okay? My anchors, my moment of grounding myself really before I walk out on that stage. And they were very personal. You can use them, but I would rather have you find your own ones, okay? Mine was stay in balance from your very own queen maker. He said, don't overdo it. Just stay in balance. We've trained this. Your body is on autopilot. When I posed and I did this, my smile appeared automatically because I had done it so many times. So repetition helps you go on autopilot when it really matters. Do it again and again and again. It's really, there is some magic in that. The other one is have fun. That's actually very personal. That's from my mom because she said in this whole process, please don't forget the joy. So when you go out there, have some fun because this is the once in a lifetime. Go and have fun. And it really worked. I went out there and was like, I've done more complicated, more difficult things in my life. I'm just going to go and have some fun. So find your own 2 thoughts, 2 maximum. You can have 1, that's fine too, but I like those 2 because they kind of, balance each other. So I really like that. And yeah, that is what I wanted to give you for backstage. And then what I want to close with is something that I call what every queen needs to know. It is a couple of things to carry with you, okay, that I want to give you personally. They come from my own experience as a coach, as a judge, and as the woman who was crowned in Vegas as a first-time pageant contestant. So these are really personal, and I think you should have them. Okay, let's go through them for a second. Queen, please be the queen you want to become. Be her right now. So you want to become Miss Globe, you want to become Miss Global, Miss International, Miss Supranational, Miss World. Okay, one of those. Be her. Behave the way, speak the way, because your posture, your energy, your preparation, it all starts before the crown. And the judges see this, they feel it when you enter the room. So be the queen that you want to become. Be it, like be her right now. Okay, start today if you haven't started yet. Okay, the 100% mean authenticity is always strength. So when you show up as your complete self, and this is one of the most important things for myself and for how I won, with everything that makes you distinctly you, okay, not someone else, just you. People want to be a part of that. It draws them in. That connection is what actually wins over the judges because it's honest and it's real and it's just you, okay? So enjoy who you are. Enjoy is the next word. The judges, me included, are far more likely to remember the energy that you brought than the words that you said. And when you convey that joy, right, that this pageant brings you and that speaking on a stage brings you, it's going to be the flawlessly executed answer every time. If I don't feel what she's feeling, if I don't see if she's really enjoying the process, bring me that joy and I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be a very happy judge, okay? Your glow. Oh, please switch on your glow. As a judge, the queen who radiates conviction lands further ahead. That's just a fact, okay? Even when other candidates answer more precisely, they have more experience than you on paper, train your glow, because that's what's going to stay with me. And it can be trained. Some have it naturally, but it can also be trained. Trust. The jury is usually choosing someone they trust for the next year. And I want you to show them professionalism, your warmth, and your stamina, because a year can be very long and very demanding. It's not really a performance that ends at any place. It's really, I want to trust you with this. I want to be able to say, she's going to get through this with a healthy mind and a healthy body. Okay, so we need to convey that to the judges. And finally, honesty. You were very honest today, and I love that. Be thorough with yourself, honest self-analysis, self-knowledge. Start right now. If you haven't started yet, that's totally fine. Find out more about yourself, and let's unleash your full potential, because self-knowledge is what leads to that. Okay, so that's it for today. And this is my final slide. The goal is not to change yourself. The goal is to evolve into your best version yet. And by that, to be able to serve your dream, whatever your dream may be. I wish you the best in that endeavor. And I'm done for today. Any questions, anything you want me to add, anything personal you want to ask me, I'm all yours.
I do have a question which I would like to ask, which is more rather a tip, if you have one. I think when you get asked a question on stage in the final moments, if you've made it into the top 10, or if you're in an interview round, and you hear the words of the question for the very first time, of course you're very nervous, and gathering your thoughts and having the idea of what you want to say and what the core message is that you want to bring is one thing. But in my opinion, it's very difficult to really gather the message into the words that are structured and short at the same time. I'm a person that tends to, in my answer as well, lose focus and start to drift off. So
yes.
Staying focused to yourself and not starting to use a lot of filler words and saying and and stopping in your answers. Is there a tip to really stay clear and focused in your head?
Yes, there's a couple of things you can do. So first of all, what you can all do is find your favorite opening lines. As a woman who has lived through is one that a lot of my clients use, because that's something, as somebody who has lived through and survived whatever you have survived, as someone who has lived through and challenged, or someone who has overcome. This is an opening where in the first 3 words, I'm like, oh my God, she knows what she's saying. Whatever comes next, I'm going to be like, she knows what she's going to tell me. Okay. Do you remember the structure we had in the beginning where you have like a personal story to hook them? Then you present some facts and you close with, let's say, a call to action. That's always something that's in my head. So when I got my final question, it was somewhat expected, because it was about the qualities that you expect a Mrs. World to have, which is something we should all expect, okay, to be asked about our pageant queen. But it was still where I was like, okay, I really want to talk about the values that Mrs. World is looking for. And 50%, and maybe more, it depends a little bit on the pageant, is how you deliver it. So when I stood up there, and you can watch my final answer, it's not my favorite answer ever, but the way I delivered is my favorite of all times, because I stood there and I said, in my personal opinion, and then I started, right, that you have to love yourself, that version of yourself that you put out there first. Because if you love her, you're actually going to be a help to others, and you're going to be able to support them on their way. And then I went on a little bit, but it was a pretty short answer. So number 1 is find an opening that you love. It can be anything. It can be tailored to your pageant. But if that's in your head and I know the first sentence already, okay? It's going to give you so much time to breathe. And this is another one. I know you were in a time frame. I know. But the ones who win, you can watch others who won in different pageants, are usually the ones who are there like, and then they start to answer. take it in. You can think in that moment, but take a moment to really take in the room, the judges, if you have the chance, if they're right in front of you. And then you open with, as a woman who has personally experienced and lived through, as a woman who has personally built, and then you talk about maybe your charity or you talk about your project, whatever it is. Oh, I'm going to be stuck to whatever you're going to say next, because I know it's coming from you. And it can be any opening line. Put it into Google, opening lines for pageant answers, right? And find your favorite one. It's really just a little work you put in. You're going to be fine. You're going to find your one that you love and that suits you. And then have a structure. It could be the one where you have the emotional hook, the facts, and then a call to action. It could be anything else. But you have to have a structure, because then, I mean, you know your project and you know what you're doing, and your English is wonderful, right? So I'm sure you can deliver something, but I know what you're talking about. And the other part that I really can only, we're not in person, which is, I would have loved that. Maybe we're going to get it, because there's a couple of things I could teach you. Just work on your posture, work on your delivery, be very open, right? You don't need to do this. I don't need that. But I want to see, like, she's excited to be here. Her eyes are glowing and her face is lighting up. She loves to be on that stage. And a part of it can be that you're showing me what you learned. Okay. If it's not natural in that moment and you're like, oh, I'm also a little scared, that's fine. You can be a little scared. I'm fine with that. But I want to see that you're really excited to be crowned. Okay. At all times. That's 50% at least. You can watch the winners and mute them. Just watch the top 5 and mute them. Just look at their body language, and you're going to find your winner, because you know what they did. Our bunny is a beautiful, our Miss Universe, I think in 22. She's a beautiful example. Just watch her body language. When she delivers, she starts out with well and takes her time, and then she gives the answer, right? And that is something, as a judge, you're like, oh, that confidence, that's beautiful. But it can be learned. Does that help a little bit, Andromeda?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else I can do for you, ladies?
Could I ask just one question? Because I know we're very over time, but just one thing I was really, really curious about. Going on the topic of what makes the winner different, I was wondering what in your case made you different from all the other contestants, like one thing that you did which helped you really secure the title, because I know things can get very close, but if there's like one thing you would recommend all of us to do which helped you secure the title, that would be really, really helpful.
That's a tough question for me to answer myself, but I'm going to try to tell you what I heard from the judges, because some of them are former Mrs. Worlds and we are in contact. So they told me,
Okay.
Some of them told me they already had me as a winner or top 3 after interview. The reason they gave me was because it was very consistent. It was very authentic. I had a story and they felt like I came prepared.
Okay.
Not because preparation is something that, you know, needs to be overdone, but because they felt I put in the effort the entire week. This is something I got from every judge. They said, you showed up on time every single time, every single event you were on time. You came prepped and polished. I did my own makeup and hair for the entire week, not for finals. I had help there, but everything else I did myself. It's not about the money. I came with 2 suitcases. I own one of the dresses that I competed in, right? But come prepared, be on time, be very consistent, be kind. It's such a big thing. I know there's always some girls who are not that nice. Don't be one of them, ever. If someone needs help, be the first one to offer help. These are things the judges said to me afterwards. They said, you were genuine the entire time. There was not a doubt in our heads that you could deliver this for the entire year. And then for the questions on stage, what they told me was, we saw that you enjoyed it. We saw that you enjoyed this. It looked effortless. It wasn't. Okay? It wasn't. It was really hard work, and it was exciting and a little bit scary, and I had never done this before, but it looked effortless. And what led to that were those 2 thoughts. Just stay in balance. You've done this 100 times before. It's just walking. Like, honestly, you're all smart women. It's just you're walking in an evening gown, swimsuit, whatever. And then you answer a couple of questions that you know the answer to. They're not going to ask you something you don't know the answer to on stage. Okay, either it's your debate, or you have something prepared, or you're introducing yourself, or you're answering a question about your pageant. They're not going to want to drag you down. It's most of those are live on a live stream or somewhere. Do you really think they want top 5 who can't answer the questions? They don't. So this works in your favor. Understand that. And I think when I look back at the pictures, and this is something else the photographer told me, she picked me the first night. When we had our first get together, she said, I knew that you would be a top contender. And this was really weird to me because I didn't feel like that at all. I felt like people only took notice of me after interview. I must have done something right. And some rumors must have spread who was great in interview, because after that, people suddenly took notice of me. I wasn't really one of the top contenders. So don't let social media ever go to your head and, oh, I'm not in the top predictions. I wasn't. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Be kind, be consistent, trust yourself. And when you're on stage, enjoy it. Show them that you love what you're doing. And if you're not loving it, think about if you should win, if you're really ready to win. That doesn't mean you can't be a great first runner-up. It doesn't mean you can't be a great top 10 or top 20. But the crown, in my experience, finds the head of the person who's the most ready. Not always the best on that night, not always the one you think is the most fair to win, but the one who's the most ready. They usually find her. That is something I can give you. And other than that, I think I just really put my emotion into my final question and they had no choice.
Okay, that is very, very insightful though, I think, because I think it comes down to how much you're striving for it. So like having that kind of backed up by you really is motivating and means a lot.
Okay, wonderful. Anything else I can do for you?
Yes, I have a question. We talked before about having anxiety and panic attacks before speaking. So what is one advice you can give me to, besides breathing exercises, because I often forget that because of the stress. So what is there else that I can do before speaking? Because last year, for example, I was chosen by we had rehearsals and I was one of the girls that were chosen like to speak publicly, but like rehearsals. And I started speaking, but then I started crying because somehow at this moment all the feelings came back again, and I couldn't. And then I was like, I just need one moment for myself. I'm sorry. And they said, yeah, go backstage. It's okay. But yeah, but that was something that I something that I brought home with me and something that I was trying to work on this whole time, but I couldn't find the right resource how to manage this. Or I mean, I can get really easily emotional when I speaking, but like, is there something that I can, or when I start crying, that is for me it's really hard to stop. So what can I do?
Yes. What you can do is a basic principle we talked about. You can put it on autopilot if it happens. Okay. What I would do if I were you, I would stand in front of the mirror. And this is for all of you. If you have a moment where you're like, I'm a little anxious, this could happen. I could choke up. I could, I don't know, fall or something and then have to speak. I could drop the mic, whatever it is for you. Everyone has their own little practice this very situation. Not because it's going to happen, but because if it happens, and it won't happen. But if it ever were to happen, you're prepared. So what you're going to do is, let's say you start crying, okay? There's a reason for that emotion. And even if you don't want to address it, you can say, wow, I never thought I'd be this emotional, but this is how much this means to me to be standing in front of you. Everyone's going to love you for it. Why? Because it makes you relatable. If you choke up, I stepped into my dress, by the way, both in prelims and in finals. I stepped into my beautiful dresses. And in that moment, I didn't have to speak, right? So what I did was, and I can see it in the video, people who don't know don't see it, but I see the moment I step into the dress and I'm like starting to slide. I just did a tiny bit of like this, and I just acknowledged, okay, it happened, but I'm just going to keep walking. And what you're going to do is you're going to acknowledge it. Yep, I'm crying right now. This is how much this means to me. I'm actually someone who's suffering from anxiety, and then lead over to your platform or whatever you want to do. I'm actually someone who's a little bit clumsy every day. Wow, now it happened here, but you know what? This is authentic me. And then you keep on going with your normal answer. If you are that superior to all the pressure, it's going to be a plus in almost every judge's book. Trust me. Because if you're able to adapt under that much pressure and just talk about what just happened in front of everyone, I'm going to be impressed with you rather than being like, oh my God, what's she doing? If you told me, oh, I have to run backstage, I would be confused because it's not a weakness. It's actually something that a lot of people experience, and they will actually say, I can relate to her. Okay. Sadina, I have the same problem. And there's a lot of people in the audience who have anxiety problems. And they're going to be like, I feel her. I have the same thing. Like, public speaking is one of the most dreaded thing a human being can do. Do you know that? Because we are going as predators. We're going in front of hundreds of eyes of other predators, and we're exposing ourselves. So naturally, our instinct tells us, are you crazy? Go back somewhere where you're safe. And you are still doing that. All of you are still committing to doing that. That is pretty amazing in itself. And if you were on stage and you told me, oh, my emotions are taking over, let me tell you, I'm really afraid of public speaking, but I'm here, I'm doing this for you guys tonight, for myself. And then you give me your answer. Most beautiful introduction, most personal introduction that you can give me, okay? Something that you can do backstage, specifically for you. We talked about the body check, right? For you, there's another thing that I do with my therapy people who tell me, oh, there's some anxiety going on. Describe in your 5 senses what you smell, what you hear, what you see, and so on. Okay? One thing each in that moment to ground yourself. Another thing you can do, this is very short, you don't have to remember anything. Have you ever watched rhythmic gymnastics go on stage? Has anyone ever seen them? A lot of them do one trick. Before they walk on stage, and they're pretty nervous because there's a lot to remember for them in the choreography. They do this, and they touch their upper legs, okay? It grounds you. It brings your body back to the here and now, and you're not that much in your head. You can also do this, but for me, that doesn't work. I need a little more pressure. That's something you can do backstage. If you feel like, oh my God, my anxiety is kind of lifting me off the floor and it's going everywhere, ground yourself. Get yourself back to the here and now. Either with the 5 senses, what do I smell? What do I hear right now? What do I feel? What do I see? Okay. What do I taste? Taste is usually a little bit more difficult, and then you do this. Okay. These are things you can try. And I want you to work out an answer if it happens. And I know you can do that. Okay. Anything else I can do for you, ladies? Your chance. You're welcome. Absolutely. Any other questions?
Okay, so now it's 1.5 hours right now, and I feel more confident and more comfortable right now. So I want to ask you, I want to change it because I can explain myself, I can tell you whatever you want or ask, but 40 minutes ago I was freeze. So I need to know how to change, how to get into the pageant, the show, the ramp. I mean, how can I moments for 40 minutes?
You mean I'm sorry, but I couldn't really hear the whole question. Did anyone else hear the whole question? Because it was very cut apart somehow. Do you mean how to focus the whole time? How to stay focused the entire time? Maybe you can type it into the chat, because I don't know what's happening with your connection. Maybe type it into the chat.
Is it better now?
Yeah, I can hear you right now.
Okay.
Let's try.
So main thing is it's 1.5.
No, you're gone again. I can't hear anything anymore. That's what happens. It always skips every third word. Maybe write it down for me. Take your time. That's fine. We can do one more question. That's no problem. Oh, the Queen Maker is back.
Sorry. Now, okay, you can hear me. Now I'm here.
Yes.
I forgot something in my introduction. I forgot to tell you, Queens, that Dr. Julia Schnelle was one of the top 5 in the public, top 5, right? In the public speaking contest, top 3. Please forgive me. Top 3 in a public speaking contest here in Germany that was held last year, and that was that was on television, right? Was that on
It
television?
was, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
It's called Germany's Next Speaker Star.
there you go.
That's what I was
And
in.
if you wonder how could she speak from, well, she's speaking now for more than 90 minutes and she's still so composed and still so focused. Now you see how high qualified our speaker is. So I hope that Faria is writing her final question. Do you have something to ask before we let Julia go? Okay, Lexi Andromeda. Faria is typing her question. Sadina, Julia, Miss World. Okay, I think Lexi is raising her hand. Okay.
Yes, I just want to say thank you for your time and thank you for the advice. So I will take for me now to put one of my weakness that I'm always thinking I'm too old, because some people tell me when you're gonna stop to do this patient stuff because you're getting old. To put this into my strength. So it's not my weakness anymore. So just to put it in a positive way. So thank you for that.
My pleasure. Oh, if you take that away, I'm so happy. Yes. Yes, that's what it's all about, because you all got your unique strengths, and that's beautiful. I have the question here. I feel more comfortable right now and can answer any question without freezing. But the main thing is I cannot, feeling it from the very beginning. Yeah, I feel like the world is stopped right now. So how can I focus and control my face, eyes, and contact with judges from the very beginning? That is a very good question, because what it leads to is, again, preparation. And what I talked about is autopilot. Let me give you one more example here, and then we're going to finish up, I promise. So if you think about your mind as a battery, it's like a motor that has a battery. Okay. So for a certain amount of time, you can focus. For a certain amount of time, I can talk. I can't do this all day, but I can do it for 90 minutes for you guys. If you have how your face is going to look, your posture on autopilot, it's not going to draw from that battery, Faria. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to train the things that now are difficult in the first couple of moments, to control your facials, to control your smile, to control your posture. You're going to train that every single day. It can be 5 minutes. Don't you worry, guys, that you need to train for 2 hours a day. You don't. And those who have done it a little more know that. But it's the repetition. The moment when I trained my favorite pose, and my first pose when I walked out in evening gown, I told you at some point when I turned, the smile came automatically, and it came timed to perfection, because I knew and my body knew what to do. I don't have to think about that. So what happens is it doesn't draw on my battery, okay, at all. When you sit in an interview, Faria, you probably have a favorite position of your hands, you have a favorite position of your legs. You know in advance if you're sitting or standing most of the times. Practice those things. When you practice interview and you know you're going to be sitting, I was sitting, I practiced walking to the desk and sitting down. My body did that on autopilot. And I had time to take in, okay, it's a guy. He's probably going to want more facts. I had so much time because my body knew how to sit down. I know I'm someone who speaks with their hands. I use my hands. I have to control them sometimes, but I speak with my hands. I want them on the table. Some people want them rather under the table, or if you're standing, hold them beautifully in front of yourself, okay? If you're like me and you want them, put them on the table. If you're like, I'm fidgeting all the time, I'm doing something like this, they're going to be under the table. You don't have to think about it anymore. If you know I'm someone, our Queen Maker says I need to smile more, I need to convey more positivity, train it. It hurts. After that week, oh my God, the muscles hurt. It's a muscle. Train it. You don't have to think about it anymore. The more things you can put on autopilot, I really mean that. Like imagine, put that vision in your mind. I'm walking into interview room. This is what I'm going to wear. If you can, practice in your outfit. Don't you dare putting it on the day off. Please practice in your outfit. In the heels, even if you're going to sit, I want you to sit in the heels and see if you like it. Okay, I knew I wanted to cross my legs. Okay, so I practiced the posture, the smile that I wanted to do. Those things are not generic. They're not artificial if they are on autopilot and if they have a meaning. If I'm doing this and I'm sitting down, I'm like, let's start. That's really weird. But that doesn't have a sense. It doesn't make sense what I'm doing. But if I'm sitting down very elegantly, like, I'm so excited to be here. So nice to get to know you. And then we start. That can be practiced. Also, I am very aware what I want to convey. I want you guys to feel warm. I want you guys to feel welcome. I want you to feel like you can be open and honest with me. I'm very aware of those things, okay? I didn't come in here today to be like, I'm a professor, I'm going to lecture you guys. No, I'm very aware of what I want you to feel as my audience. Write it down. Faria, write it down what you want them to feel, because that's what you're going to bring to the room. And I'm sure that you can do that, okay? And also, again, it's a little bit like what Andromeda asked me. If the first couple of sentences are already there on autopilot and you can introduce yourself, usually the first question is something like, tell us about yourself, or to tell us about your social project, introduce yourself, because the judges don't want to fail you. They're going to give you something like that. It needs to be an autopilot. It needs to be in a way that you say, thank you, I'm so excited to be here and to get to know you. So I'm personally a person who, and then you start with something, who you are, what's important to you, what do you burn for, right? That's what I want to know as a judge. And what do you bring to the crown? What is it that you have to offer? You're going to do amazing, okay? Don't draw on your battery. Don't draw on your mind too much. Go on autopilot in the things where it works. And it works great for Pastorella. Ask your queenmaker. He knows that. The more you train, the more autopilot. Does that answer your question a little bit?
Of course, thank you so much. And I'll try my best. Actually, I'm practicing from her, and I feel like, okay, I'm really good. But when I'm trying to speak with someone, even with my friend or my, like, okay, everything's gone, but I'll try the autopilot.
It's not gone. You produced answers and you didn't know me. It was a real life pageant experience because you didn't know me. You didn't know when it was going to be your turn. You didn't know the questions beforehand, and you gave me answers. Okay, you're fine. You can do this. All of you. Thank you so much. This was pretty amazing tonight.
Okay, so thank you so much again, Julia. I'm going to text you, and again, I'm going to upload this. Sorry. Okay, well, I'll stop.
There's another thing.
Sorry.
I didn't say that before, but we have a workbook for you guys for this session.
Yes.
So our beautiful queen maker is going to send you I think it's a Word document, so you can even work on it if you want to, because I didn't want you to have to write down everything. So we created a little workbook. It is written in German because I want you to really understand what I'm looking for with the questions. But you can, of course, answer it in English, please, because you're all very capable. And I hope it's something like a little take-home message for you and something you can write down and take with you. And good luck to all of you. I'm going to be rooting for you. I'm going to be online watching the live streams.
Thank you so much.